everybody. Didn't know if anybody had turned up. Thank you for being here. Welcome to the presentations for Coast to Kosci 2014. I'll just start off with a little bit of formal stuff. Our sponsors and supporters, Aura, Akubra, Two Toms, Anti-Chafing, Hammer Sports Nutrition, Sweat, that's Sean Williams, training, athlete training and coaching, Hocker, who have generously donated prizes of running shoes for every fit. No, sorry. For our winners. Roger almost had a heart attack there.
Yeah, talk to Paul outside.
Lake Jindy Hotel Motel, Sapphire Sun Holiday Village down at Eden, and also Discovery Holiday Park, the caravan park, which you ran through. They do a lot for us. They even said if anybody wants to go down there for a spa and sauna today, they've got a coin-operated spa sauna. Just go down there, wander in, whether you're staying there or not. Tonight, there's been a booking made at Banjo Patterson's for 6 o'clock. I've been informed there's karaoke there as well as dinner. So if anybody's hanging around tonight, speak. Lisa pulled out, injured, still came down, and just her ability to just pick up on the administrative stuff from the day before the run, her intuition on what needed to be done, her ability to just run with stuff on minimal instruction and supervision to see what needed to be done without being asked has made my job so much easier. Our other volunteers who have just been fantastic, Kieran, Gary, Chili and Kerry, Marie and Graham, Brett, his son Tom, Rob, Michael, Sue Spink has been great as our contact person down in Eden now, and just really stepped up with a lot of the Dalgety Hall organisation for us. Rod and Peter, our regular sweeps, Andy, our medic, and Vincent Paul at the finish line. Thanks so much to you guys. I think so many of those guys have been C2K finishers before, and they've just come back and supported the race. As to other people, previous C2K finishers coming back and crewing, and just having your knowledge out there, having your help out there. You know, even though you're crewing, you are so helpful to us from an organisational perspective. Jane, Billy, Brian. In fact, we had 25 C2K finishers, previous finishers out there, either volunteering or crewing. And between those 25 previous finishers, they had 50 actual individual finishes, individual crossings of the finish line between them. So there was an enormous amount of people just coming back just because, although they're not running, just because they love the race, and appreciate that so much. Thank you. Regarding the cutting of the course short, it was a tough decision yesterday, and it's one of those things we had to make it in 2009, I think, where we 2008, where we closed stopped everybody at Charlotte Pass on the way up. That year, the weather conditions were similar yesterday, except for throw in fog, which we wouldn't have been able to see that banner from here, and throw in 100km/h winds. Our finish line then was officially pretty much inside the toilet block. It was a collaborative decision again, like last year, between the team we had on board to shorten the course. We had several issues out there, and we tried to get everybody as much opportunity as we could of summiting. We had people arriving with their mandatory gear already on and already saturated. We already had problems with hypothermia, not just within the runners. We already had, and by feeding more people onto the mountain, we could see we were going to outstrip our resources to respond to any emergency situations, particularly with hypothermia which arose. That was further complicated by limited access to the 2 emergency shelters up there, because both of those shelters were basically totally full with school kids. I assume they're out of there today. Thanks everyone, the runners, when we went back down to the field, how positive and supportive they were of that decision. As a runner myself, and all of us there who came to that decision, our heart bleeds because we really want to get as many people to the top as possible, but we also want everybody to be safe. So thanks for the support on that decision. Is my voice going up to the back enough? Okay, thanks. To the DNFs, Jason, Kevin, Pam, George and Ray. The calibre of, for the first timers, you've got to just look at the calibre of some of the other runners who DNF, not just this year, but over the years. It's nothing to be ashamed of that course. Come back, and you're out there because you deserve to be, and you're capable, but for some of us, it's just not our day. And many of us have been there on this course, myself included. I hope you do come back, and I hope you have a successful year or successful years at CDK in the future.
I'll come back if you'll take me that call.
Of course, George.
No, wrong one. As in, take Jason.
Sorry, I didn't have my glasses on. Okay. Every year we have an award for the finisher who maximises their amount of enjoyment and time out of the course. I tell this story every year, sorry for the returns, but there's so many newbies here that you have to hear it. The first year we did CDK, there were 4 of us on the start line, of course including myself and Jan. There was also Lawrence, who unfortunately DNF'd, and Sean Greenhill, who was involved very much with a lot of, well, the original route mapping for a start. I was the person who came up with all the easy bits of the course, blame Sean for all the hard bits. Jan and I basically dead heated. I got to the top of Kosci first, that's why my race number's number 1, Jan, his permanent race number's number 2. Sean was 3rd place finisher. He's Race number was number 3. I'd finished. We didn't know exactly what time we'd finish. Like, I certainly didn't even have any accommodation booked back here at Jindabyne. I hadn't thought that far ahead. I had thought about Sunday morning, and I'd entered a half Ironman down at Canberra. I got to the end of the half Ironman at Canberra and sitting around at the awards there, and Richard, my crew person, more about Richard later, his phone goes off and he passes it to me, and it's Sean on the phone, and his deep baritone. Anybody who's heard Sean, his deep voice sounds like he's got 3 testicles. Sean said, "Paul, I'm just going up to the steps to the Strzelecki Monument." This was 60 hours after we started. I hope Sean comes back for his second CDK finish one day. I want to see him knocking out a PB of at least 24 hours. Consequently, for the runner who maximises their time out on the course, we used to call it the Big Hairy Balls Award, but as soon as we started having females enter, which was very soon, we had to change the name to the Green Hill Stubbornness, Persistence, Obstinacy Trophy. It's a mouthful. Use the acronym if you're fast. And the winner of that trophy for our 42nd place finisher this year, in 40:47, is Kurt Topper. I'll just make a brief mention. With the shortening of the course, with the inclement weather course, as we have done before, it's as far as we required you to run on the day. For us, that is a C to K finish. It's 41st place. Oh. This is when I need Diane.
I've got nothing.
Somebody who's already got her Akubra in 41st place, 8th female. We have a hat pin, and we have a very lovely backpack for your wet weather mandatory gear. Marina Braun, come on up. Marina came to us a couple of years ago and applied for C2K, and I looked at her times and I just said to her, I don't think you're fast enough to finish the course. Put in some more racing, improve your times, get faster, come back to me. Not only did Marina get faster and come back to us, the races that she got faster at, and tough things, Northburn in New Zealand, Great North Walk, 100-miler. She's huge amount of admiration for Marina. She's one very tough athlete. Congrats, Marina. 40th place, 7th female. A woman who is now our youngest female C2K finisher. Somebody who's got nearly 2,000 kilometres of ultramarathon racing under her belt, but only 100k of that on a hilly course. All the rest has been on athletic tracks and flat circuits. So it was a real tester for her, and she responded to it. Larissa, please come up. Place. His 9th C2K finish. Of course, Jan's been here all 11 years. 38.18. Come up, Jan. The man with the most perforated Cupra. Place. Bit of a story for this man. He's actually come from crewing, done the jump across to the racing side of things. He might have regretted that at Rocky Hall. He was already chafing really badly. Came running into Rocky Hall with a wearing a surgical glove and asking for a lot of lube. But despite that, he went on to finish in 38th place in 37.35. This is Adam Connor. Come on up, Joe Ward. We saw this guy's entry and we thought, yeah, we came in from Singapore. Great race history. He's done Ultra Tour Mount Fuji amongst many other races. 100-miler around Mount Fuji, incredibly tough course. We thought, yeah, he's the type of guy who belongs at C2K. 36.58, 36th place. Come up, Chris Yao. Thank you. 6.52. Somebody's had a great year in the past year. Performances have really lifted. Great to have you here on this side. Raylene Bendel, come on. great story about Raylene. Her dad was an ultra runner. If any of you remember back to Sydney to Melbourne, absolutely fantastic runner. Graham Woods, he won the Nanengo 1,000 mile, is that right? Yeah. Yeah. So it's just absolutely great to see that Australian ultra history just coming down and perpetuating just out through the generations. So there's some good things there. 36-39, another C2K newbie, come on up, Max Fitzgerald. $36.25. Dara O'Loughlin. Sixth finish. He held the course record here for about 4 years. Obviously didn't have a great day out there, but when Joe doesn't have great days, he still just plugs away and does the job. Huge amount of respect for somebody who's won C2K numerous times. Come on up, Joe Blake. I think when Joe ran his course record, that was the one which 11 years of C2K. Many years the course record is only held for 1 year, but Joe's was our, until it went last year, it was our longest standing course record on C2K. So yeah, more on course records later. Second C2K finish, coming up, Greg Brown. When we saw her application, we thought she's C2K ready. 300 milers under her belt, Yuyangs, Taranaki, the Waterford Trail. We knew she was tough enough, we knew she was ready for it, and she showed that out there. Cheryl Simons in 30th place, 5th women. All those finishes we had to stop at Charlotte Pass. As I mentioned, they were all very supportive of the decision. It's a tough decision to make it as a race director, and I really do appreciate how supportive they were of it. there were some runners we let pass Charlotte Pass, and then we pulled them off the course beyond Charlotte's. The next 3 runners we pulled at so they made it to the inclement weather finish line at Charlotte Pass, but we took them off the course a bit further up, whether that be Seamer's Hut on the way up, or even Seaman's on the descent. So these 3 people left Charlotte at the same time. So in not quite a particular order, these next 3. Somebody who was on our wait list initially, which is absolutely ridiculous, but it goes to show the strength of the field. He had a Great North Walk finish, a really solid Great North Walk 100-mile finish. Anybody who's run that course knows how tough it is. He's 208 208k in 24-hour man, and it was just ridiculous that we initially had this guy on a wait list. Matt Chamberlain, come on up. And quite frankly, you know, knowing what I know about Matt now, you know, it's just, especially how groovy his hair is, there's no way, no way he should be able to wait. Rob Skynes, look, good all day, C to K debut. Yeah, come on up. She's got some great results, and it was just over the years, and everybody in ultra running in Australia knows her, and you'd think it's just a matter of time before she does C2K. It was great to finally get her here. She's done several 3-day races, 375 at the Across the Years race in Arizona, and 350 on a bad few days, she described it, in Athens. So finally see her stepping down to a sprint event. Come on up, Annabelle.
Thanks. Thank you. Thanks for the presence today. Thanks.
Annabelle Hepworth. Andrew Layson came through Charlotte about an hour ahead of them. CDK debut. Come on up, Andrew. We actually pulled Andrew from the course after he summited. So, yeah, unfortunate turn of events, but we just had to get everybody off that course as quickly as possible, and part of that was a National Parks directive. Okay, thank you. Great runner. He's represented Belgium at the World 100k, knocking over better than 2:20 in Steenbergen last year. He's finished the 250k Sakuramichi across Japan, one of my favourite races in the world. He's finished the Spartathlon 246k in Greece, Athens to Sparta. Brilliant race to go do that one. Absolutely great athlete. We're so pleased to have him here. It's an unfortunate thing we had, again, what happened to all the other people, and he wasn't able to quite get to the finish because of us. But he's a CDK finisher because he did everything that we asked him to do on that course yesterday to get as far as we would allow him. Come on up. I've got to get these, Luke.
Yeah. I want to say a few words if I can.
Yes, please.
I give you a little pause to prepare your voice. I have not a voice like you, but it's not, I'm here in Australia. It's far away from my home, and I will thank you first of all to be helpful of my question to come to here and to appreciate me to participate at the Kosci. Thank you. I will say also it was a great event. You are the president of it, and the crew you have, the members to help, and all the surrounding and surrounding you. You said it as well, very good. I think it's very good, and I can compare it because I do also Sakura, I do the Spartathlon. And what I can say of the OC version of Ultra, it is really, really great because it's a parkour in the nature you never found all over the world.
Thank you.
I want to finish, I have spoken with Paul. I want to finish with shaking hands with Michael, I think.
Yes.
There was a little discussion. It was a good discussion after, and I want to close the discussion because it's not easy to be in a jury, and I appreciate decisions of a jury, and in that case we have both not a good feeling about, but we have a discussion, and I wish to finish here, to Michael have to with me here.
Okay, Michael McGrath. Michael was the man in the unfortunate position of taking a lot of those people off the course beyond Charlotte. So it was a tough job, and yeah, we really appreciate Michael doing it. He's around somewhere, so
He's not here?
he is somewhere. We'll find him for you later. Okay. Thank you. The runners who did get to, the finishers who did get to beyond Charlotte's Pass, Summit back to Charlotte's Pass. 37:31, his first CDK. Come on up, Luke Morley. Kiss that off. $37.21. Just got to find his Akubra. Chris Knowles, coming up, mate. One of my best friends has been here the last 8 years, just wouldn't be the race without him. Just wish he could get back with the information quicker because it pisses Diane off. Come on, Kevin Eden.
I'm not cheating, but
if any of the return finishers have lost a hat pin from the Recupera over the years, we do have a few spares there to replace yours. An Recupera short of finishers hat pins is just not right. Somebody who scraped home a 4-hour PB yesterday. Great supporter of the race with his support through Hocker. Another great mate. 34.48, 20th place. What's his name? Roger Haney.
Oh, okay, cool. I'll line it up on Facebook.
A man who celebrated his birthday in style yesterday. We actually coincided the race with his birthday this year just because we heard he was coming all the way from the US. Jared Federer-Rolf. Jared, this is his 8th race of 100 miles or more this year. Bad water, Fat Dog 120 miler up in Canada. If you want to speak to him about some awesome races on the other side of the Pacific, buy him a drink. 18th place, a man who has become our youngest CDK finisher. Come up, Sam Ware. What the fuck, yeah. Like the kids today, they've got no dress sense. Sam was actually involved in a 3-way sprint finish. He was 2 seconds behind the next finisher, a 6-time finisher here, one of our permanent race numbers for being amongst that 10 in the first 3 years when it was very much just a group of guys getting together, having a race. So those finishes from that first 3 years when we were just doing it without police permissions or anything, it was low-key. But so we've all got our group of 10 of us, we've got our permanent race numbers from the order we finished over those, or our first finishes over those first three years. So the 6th He was 6th ever finisher of C to K, and yesterday was his 6th C to K finish. Come on up, Phil Murphy. Somebody who managed a PB by over an hour, his 3rd finish. One finish 4 seconds in front of Sam, 2 seconds in front of Phil in the sprint finish. Come on up, Trevor Allen. Our next finisher in 14th place, C to K debutant, and had a fantastic race out there for their first C to K. And I think one of the reasons why he had a fantastic race out there is he didn't rush into C to K. He's got 400-mile finishes under his belt. He didn't just go, yeah, I got the minimum qualifiers, I'm in. He's been working to this race obviously for a while, and he came out, put in a great 32.44 finish for 14th place, Steve Drummond. Coming off victory at Great North Walk this year, PB by an hour. Where are you, Dave Graham? Hour PB. This guy, all through the registration process, first person in with entry, first back with catering and crew information, first back with this, first back with that. Half expected him to win the race. No pressure there. 1.5 hour PB, takes the 31.21 for the Schultz family title, with Sharon having had multiple finishes over the years. Justin Schultz, come on. Crew award. Oh wow. Those who have been here before know what's coming. Crew award. It's Richard Peacock Memorial. Never gets easy, this. Richard, first 2 years at C to K, he crewed for me. He did more than that. He did so much for teaching Diane and myself how to organise a race. C to K, in those initial years, we were running it, we were looking for a race director. We actually went through 3 race directors who wanted to do it. They couldn't get police approvals. It was a baby we tried to adopt out, which kept on landing on our doorstep. That's how Diane and I became race directors. As well as crewing for us, Richard taught us so much, how to prepare risk management strategies, how to present traffic management stuff to police. There's every year when we're organising, we see Richard's fingerprints on the work that we use. He and Diane crewed wonderfully for me for 2 years out of a Volkswagen Beetle. That's how organised Diane and Richard were. Unfortunately, shortly before the 3rd CDK, which I DNF'd in, Richard passed away. He was a wonderful guy, a wonderful crew, and this is our way, and the race's way, of remembering him with the Richard Peacock Memorial Crew Award. Thank you, Richard. There's so many stories came back about this couple that we just couldn't go past them. Liz and John, who crewed for Andrew Donaldson. At Dalgety, when the rain was pouring down and those on Dalgety Hall, Graham and Marie and Sue, had water flooding down the hill and through the entrance. It was Liz who went across to the pub. No, she just didn't go to the pub. There's more to the story. And got a shovel and shoveled a trench across the front of Dalgety Hall to divert the water coming down and flooding Dalgety Hall.
I knew I brought my boots for a reason.
Yeah. Much to the cheers of the audience of locals sitting on the pub veranda. Later on, if she didn't have enough wet weather, she and John summited with Andrew as part of his crew. They went back down the road to help Brett Ranson come into his Charlotte Pass finish. And yeah, above and beyond. It's just, you couldn't get them out there. We couldn't stop them being out there in the rain, helping people. Wait on, it's not over yet. Not content with that, then they went back out up to Seaman's Hut to help out runners up there on the course in all the rain after helping Brett get home. So Andrew Donaldson's crew, Liz and John, come on up. You really got to admire a great athlete toughing things out. Didn't have the race he wanted. Spoke to Brendan, I guess about halfway through, and he knew he wasn't having the race he wanted. And he said, I'm going to get that in Cooper even if I'm going to have to walk from here, or something along that line. He's such a talented man. Everybody in Australian ultra running knows him. everybody, you know, his course record holder at North Face got that from some foreign dude named Killian. He's 6th place at Ultra Tour Mount Fuji, 8th place at Western States, class runner, and he showed his class out there by hanging in for a 30-40 finish for 9th place, Brendan Davies. So, sorry, just got to backtrack. 12th place, again, like Steve Drummond, somebody who's obviously prepared well, 3 100-mile finishes to his name, just didn't jump into CDK when he had that minimum. And it showed in his racing. He was happy out there all day. I think he just looked good all day. 31-32, 12th place. Sorry for missing you earlier. Nick Phipps, come on up.
No. You told me not to, Brie.
There's poor Nick, he's probably sitting there thinking, did I get DQ'd or something? Okay, so Nick was 12th, Justin 11th across the line, some Devon 10th, Brendan 9th, anyway, 7th place. Okay. Another first timer, great runner, so good to get him over here from WA. 3 times Australian 24-hour rep. Come on up, Dave Kennedy. Sixth place on debut. This guy was elated at the finish. I think he is the happiest finisher, the happiest person we've seen at the finish since Buzz in 2010. And to be happier than Keith Hong is a huge achievement in itself. But a huge achievement, 28.55 on debut, 6th place, Andrew Donaldson. Smiling for the photo? Finished well last year, ran better this year. 1 hour PB by about an hour this year, a bit over an hour. 5th place, 2 minutes ahead of Andrew. Was John Pearson. Fourth place, finisher. Oh, no, sorry, no, he was 20 minutes. John was 20 minutes ahead of Andrew. Sorry, I got that wrong. But just 3 minutes ahead of John was debutant. Matt's had, I've watched his running over a few years. A couple of years ago, he really put something out there. He was going to do a fundraising for kids' hospitals, and he set himself the target of running 800 Ks in 8 days across 8 states. And I thought, wow, for somebody with a fairly short racing, ultra running career, I thought that is a huge ask. Not just the physical backup, but the logistics of going around 8 cities in Australia. Backing up after the World 100K a couple of weeks ago, as Brendan did, she had a really solid run. She did a 4-hour PB, 32:55 for third amongst the women. Nikki Wynn, come on up, Nikki. Third place against the men. Another returning runner, second CDK. He also managed to just squeeze out a PB by 7 hours. He came down off the mountain in 47 minutes from the summit back to Charlotte Pass. 27:54. Third place amongst the men. Mixed weights coming up. Second place amongst the women, and it was such a gutsy run, and she's such a talented athlete. You know, we've seen what she's done, blasting wins at Glasshouse. We've seen what she's done, you know, running nearly 2:40 for 24 hours at Caboolture. You know, she's just a class athlete, and she went out hard. She chased the record, and she, to a certain extent, she paid for it, but she didn't stop smiling. She still looked pretty damn good out there despite the slowing. We really want to see you back, Deb. Fantastic athlete, 31:17, Deb Nicole. Thank you. Place of 26:56. is it's the 5th fastest C/K time we've had on record. You know, so it would have won most years. It's the first time he's done an ultra in Australia. He's an Aussie, but as a merchant seaman based in ports operating out of the US in Vancouver, he's does most of his racing over in the States. So although it's his first ultra in Australia, he has run a few ultras before. Like he's done 1,500 mile plus races this year. I don't know whether he's got anything else planned between C/K and Christmas. And I'm going to get him to tell you about his Marathon des Sables training because it's absolutely crazy. Second place, 26.56. Come on up, Grant Vaughan. Now, Grant, you've just replaced, at least temporarily, a Badwater World's Toughest hat with the C/K Cobra. Merchant seaman, out obviously on the ocean a lot. Tell us how you trained for MDS this year.
Well, people ask me how I managed to train for a lot of the ultras. You have to be just really creative, I reckon. Run a lot of stairs. You know, ships have stairs and have a few decks, and that's about all I get to do. If there's a treadmill on board, you know, I utilise that, but I really can't stand treadmills. So really, at the end of the day, it's just being a stubborn dog. You know, it's what gets me through a lot of these ultras. You know, and I was taking a ship from Canada down to Brazil before the MDS, and had to train with a full backpack, running up and down the stairs all day on the ship, which the crew kind of got sick of all the thumping because then I had to get from this tiny little island off the coast of Brazil all the way to Morocco for the MDS, and they lost me luggage on the way, of course, and I ended up with minimal supplies and that to get there. So I begged, borrowed and stole everything for the race, and then got through it, you know. But you know, that's just part of the adventures of doing ultras, you know. I just love it. Thanks all you guys and all these competitors. Cool.
How long do you?
I'm down here maybe for another couple of weeks or so, then I'm going to go back and get into it. I've got one more race booked, the Arrowhead 135 in northern Minnesota in January, which is a winter race where you pull a pulk, which is a sled with all your gear on it, so that should be kind of interesting, I reckon.
That sounds way better than, way easier than organising crew cars, so we're going to do that for C/K next year. Our C/K victors this year. Some years we finish with first female, some year we finish with first male. You know, we change it around. This year we're going to go to the girls first. This woman, she's going to be, well, she's such a popular victor here at C/K this year, such a popular winner. And she's been around this race for a while. She's crewed for Sharon Schultz with Sharon winning 3 times. And she crewed for you too, Justin? Or were you? No, oh, that's right, you were, yeah, she was running then. But she obviously learned from Justin and Sharon how to, from the crew perspective, how to run C/K well. Then she came out here last year and earned herself a podium place on debut, which I'm ashamed to say it surprised me, because she just had a perfect race last year, and on such a thorough preparation from learning about the race and learning how to run it, it shouldn't have surprised me. And it shouldn't have surprised me this year to see her come through as the winner. She ran 30:14, just missed the course record by 10 minutes. She did a 2-hour PB. I'm just so pleased to see you win, as I'm sure so many of us are. Sabina Hamidi. Last year, Sabina said to us at the finish line, she said, "I can't believe I've done it. Only special people finish seat again." And we said, "That's right, Sabina, only special people do. And only very special people win it." Congratulations. Our senior everybody was so excited when we saw he had entered. When we heard rumours that he was going to enter, we thought, fantastic. When the entry came through, we thought, oh wow. When we put the names up on the site and people saw Andrew's name on the list, there was a lot of chatter going around, and he certainly, his performance just didn't disappoint. Apparently he was wet for only about 20 minutes. He obviously runs fast enough to dodge raindrops. His crew came up and asked me a question, and they said, "Are we allowed to run up Balocca with him?" And I thought, of course, you know, you can pace after dark. And then I realised he was going to be running up Balocca Range at 100 miles in the light. We have a schedule which we submit to the police, and that's got where the first runner will be and the last runner will be at any one time on the course. Probably about 20 positions along the course, and that's part of our traffic management plan. That part of our traffic management plan is now toilet paper pieces. Is, you know, North Face sprint finish this year for 2nd place. Ultra Tour Mont Blanc 6th place. He's a class athlete. And he showed it out there with a 24:33 win. That's a course record of about 1 hour and 20 minutes. Come on up, CDK champion, Andrew Kosci. I'm going to get both of you guys to say a few words, and poor Sabina thought she escaped without it. Sabina, any thanks? Who do you want to thank? There's people out there.
Yeah, well, this is just a really big deal for me. My crew, I could not have done it without you. just everything went right with the race, and that was largely thanks to the crew. So now my mind's gone blank. Yeah, it was just amazing. And I've broken the voodoo. No more first-time female only winning. Like anyone, we can all do it.
Yeah, Sabina is the first female winner not to do it on debut, and she's only the second female winner not to break the course record. So it's she's in great company there with Bernadette Benson, but it is such an unusual record that for years every female came along on debut and basically broke it on.
It was 10 minutes, come on.
Won it on debut with the course record. Then Bernadette came along 2 years, won it on debut without a course record. Now Sabina's coming along as a improving runner, stepping up, doing a great one last 1 year, following year, coming along and winning it. And yeah, for our first returning runner to do it as a female. Fantastic. Great effort, Sabina. Highlight moment of the race. When did you feel that magic moment that every ultra runner has, where it's just that moment of bliss?
I think I was crying on the way up to Charlotte's Pass. I was in tears already. I thought, I can't believe that I'm so close to the finish and it's going to happen. So, yeah.
And that was that the time you thought you had it in the bag, or did
Probably,
you? Yeah. And congratulations, Sabina.
Thank you.
Andrew, anybody you want to thank first up?
I mean the organisers, you, yourself and everyone else who's out there, because I mean there's a few moments, I got back and I was a bit of a mess, so I slept most of yesterday.
Why?
Yesterday. So I woke up and saw the storm and you think there's still people up on the mountain and you guys doing the finishing and all that sort of stuff. So that's the first one. Just everyone here, all the crews especially, which makes it for such a special event. Especially early on, was a lot of leapfrogging and just people everywhere. That's good, but especially my crew just over here, who I was thinking about doing the race, and then James there, when I suggested that I might do it, he basically said he's going to crew, so I had to do it. But all of us, none of us had done this before, all crewed, so we pretty much made it up and got a plan going and it seemed to work.
It did. Congratulations, our Coast to Kosci champions for. Congratulations, guys.
Mickey,
Nick.
3 cheers for Paul!
this morning. So Dave, how did you pull up, all right?
How did I pull up? Well, I pulled up pretty well. I'm not sure about my toe.
What's wrong?
Whoopsie.
Holy galoot.
Phoenix on his way.
Oh, gross. Oh, gross.
It's all good, I'm tough.
It's bloody awful.
I'm tough.
I've got one.
Yeah.
Talk to you soon. Talk to you soon.
We all there? Just no wider if we can. You're going to end up outside.
Just run over the other side, is that right?
Roger that, baby.
Big cheer, guys.
Big cheer, guys.
We will do a hats off in a minute, not yet.
Get naked, Cassie!
Let's do a hats off.
Arm in the air.
No.
Thank you, Joey.
I'm benched. Let's go to the pub. Oh, I'll get a photo of you two. Yeah. Thought I'd better take a photo of a couple of Kiwi birds that saw the error of their ways.
Okay. Do you have your camera here?
The two veterans, the veteran walker, the veteran crew. There you go. So how'd you go? You happy?
It was as expected, a bit wetter.
You finished about the same time as last year?
A little bit slower, yeah.
What'd you do?
38 and a bit. Last year just under
37. 38 and a bit, yeah.
Yeah, 38.18, and last year I was 37.50 something.
Yeah, so. you got past me last year going the hill.
So.
But look at the weather though. You're much in the rain?
You've got to take it as it comes. It was pretty unpleasant, let's put it that way.
Well, there you go. So there you go, you did make it on the video.
Yeah.
She loves being videoed.
Oh, yeah.